The question says x plus 1 by x has fx, and this function is increasing when what? So we know, if you don't know, let me just recap this, that whenever we need to find where the function is increasing or decreasing, all we got to do is differentiate the function and check for the sign. If it is greater than 0, it is increasing, less than 0, decreasing, equal to 0, like it is a stationary point. When it is equal to 0, it is a stationary point. Now that stationary point can either be minima, either be maxima, or a point of inflection. Have you heard of the point of inflection?
Yeah.
So we'll have to test it further if it comes out to be 0. But for increasing and decreasing, we just have to check wherever the differentiation is becoming positive, because we are checking increasing function. So let's do that. Let's just differentiate and put it as greater than 0. Let's do it. The differentiation will be how much? X is 1. The differentiation of x is 1. And differentiation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square, right?
Yeah.
And this has to be greater than 0. So whichever region it is greater than 0, we are good to go. So how to solve this? Now, solving an inequality is a little bit tricky. Let's understand this. Okay.
Yeah.
Never ever cross multiply when you have an inequality. That's the first rule. So what do? We change the sign so that everything is in one side. So let's do that. Can I say that x square minus 1 divided by x square is greater than 0?
Yeah.
अब जब whenever you are sure about the sign of the denominator, then you can cross multiply. Do you agree that x square, no matter what the value of x, when we square it, it becomes a positive quantity?
Yeah.
So when we bring it to the right hand side, nothing wrong will happen. We can just make it vanish altogether, right? It
Yeah.
just goes to the right hand side, gets multiplied by 0 and becomes 0, right? So basically, all in all, we just need to find x square minus 1 greater than 0. So can we factorize it? X plus 1 into x minus 1.
Yeah.
So always try to factorize it. Some people like to do it like this: x square is greater than 1, so x is greater than 1. No, that's incorrect. You have missed out on the negative sign of it. That's why always factorize it. This is the way to solve any inequality. So x plus 1, x minus 1 is greater than 0, right?
Yeah.
Now the next step is to draw the number line and mark these zeros. There are two zeros that I'm getting in this particular case. One is negative 1 and one is positive 1. This is always the steps that you'll have to follow whenever you are solving inequality. All right.
Yeah.
Once you draw the number line and mark the zeros, what are the zeros? Of course, at minus 1 this becomes 0, at plus 1 this becomes 0. So I've marked the number line. Now look at what is happening to the right hand side of 1. If you substitute any value in this inequation, which is greater than 1, let's say I substitute 2, do you agree that everything will be positive?
Yeah.
So basically, I need to find those x's where this product of these two become greater than 0, isn't it? That's my aim, which means anything to the right hand side of 1, if I substitute, it will be positive. Now look at it. If I substitute anything between minus 1 and 1, let's say 0, if I substitute 0, do you agree that it will become negative? So I
Yeah.
don't want that region. Oh, and the last one, if you substitute anything
Positive.
less than minus 1, both will become negative, and negative negative will become positive. So once again, this region will be positive. This is also called as wavy curve. Some books call it as wavy curve. You draw it, the way to draw the graph is like this. So you understand that this is positive, then negative, then positive, right?
Yeah.
So all in all, we know that all the region from 1 to infinity and minus 1 till minus infinity will be positive. So whichever option matches. Oh, so it's a fancy way of saying mod of x greater than 1, by the way. You know that, right? Mod of
Yeah.
x greater than 1 means either x is greater than 1 or less than minus 1. Because in both the cases, when you take the mod, the value will be greater than 1. So a concise way of writing the same thing is basically mod of x greater than 1. Any doubts here?
No.
That's how you solve this. Clear?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on to the next one.